Hello, hello. I want to start this video by thanking everyone for the love and the support on the most recent video. This channel is mostly going to be whatever I want to post, but I plan to make a new video every week, so expect a new video every Monday. With that said, today I wanted to talk about unfinished Nintendo games, which is a very common descriptor for modern Nintendo releases. I wanted to figure out why this was the case, so I googled the term unfinished Nintendo game. According to my research, Nintendo games can be considered unfinished for the same handful of reasons by just about everybody. Reason number one: there are consistent frame rate and performance issues on first-party hardware with first-party software. Reason number two: content from previous installments are not present in the most recent installment of a series, though they'll try to make best of this situation by promising more content on the way as free DLC. Reason number three is the quality of the game just does not match the price point. I want to start with the consistent frame rate and performance issues because this is something that is pretty egregious to me. Unfortunately for Nintendo, this has always been an issue for them, even on their old consoles. In older games, performance issues would typically arise because the idea that the developer had in mind and that they were attempting to execute on exceeded the scope of what the console could do. When I played Zelda Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on my Nintendo 64, I excused the frame rate dips even as an adult because playing video games was a very new medium, and the level of ambition on display for the media being so young excused the issues that I had with it. Now that I'm older and I've played more games, it's kind of embarrassing to me that Zelda Breath of the Wild can't handle a dense forest very well, or how fire.gif in Metroid Dread exists when the rest of the game is so fluidly animated. With these examples, I don't feel like whatever the devs had envisioned is exceeding the scope of the Switch. It's a forest and a fire trap. People may say that it's a limitation of the hardware, but if you're making a game with a specific console in mind, why not make it run well on that console? I realize that if you don't care about this, you're probably thinking that it's not a huge deal that the performance is struggling when it's pretty much fine everywhere else. And that is a fair point. And on their own, performance issues are not a big deal, but these games are coupled with other problems that contribute to them feeling unfinished. So let's talk about the second issue: content from previous games not being present in the most recent installment. From my own personal experience, this issue creates a lukewarm launch because activities and characters that were once in the previous installment on release are now being released for free over a longer period of time to try to add more shelf life to the game. Animal Crossing's New Horizons felt especially guilty of this because the previous installment, Animal Crossing New Leaf for the Nintendo 3DS, had more diverse personalities for the villagers and more activities and stuff to do at launch. Only after several patches did New Horizons get most of the features from the previous game. Mario sports games on the Switch have also started with some pared down rosters, but they'll sprinkle in some new characters to add to the game as free updates. These characters don't always have the same level of care put into them that the original roster did. And so these additions for free, they just come across as lazy because of it. Pokemon games are going in this direction as well, but it feels a bit greedier to me. As Sword and Shield did not include the national dex upon release, concerned Pokemon players were hit with a referral to Pokemon Home in lieu of this abrupt change. Then they announced DLC, which sought to rectify this National Dex issue by bringing back the previously excluded Pokemon. But because there's new content associated with this DLC, there's also a price tag attached to that as well. Now, there are new Pokemon games on the horizon with Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, which also don't seem to have a national dex on the way or good performance if the trailer is any indication. Which leads me to my final nail in the coffin for why these games just don't feel finished at launch, and it's the $60 price tag. I don't think that everyone can unanimously agree on the dollar value of any video game. I think that's going to come down to what you're willing to pay and what you can genuinely afford. What I do know is that other games on the market don't always cost $60, and those games typically don't lack basic features, such as functional online play. There's a level of polish and care that I've come to know by playing these other games and even Nintendo's older titles that makes Nintendo's current pricing for any of their games feel archaic. Nintendo doesn't enjoy changing their prices either, because back in the old days, Nintendo was the premium stuff. They had their own seal of approval on their boxes. So when I am interested in a Nintendo title, as a consumer, I have to consider the potential performance problems and then Nintendo's strategy of adding to the game later. So it's not going to have a lot to do at launch. And then the ever unwavering $60 price tag, putting those things together, I can't help that think that unfinished is the perfect word for it. My name is Tuna Maguna, and next time we're going to suplex a seal. Thanks for watching.